Welcome to the Thought Leaders video blog, where industry executives share their insights and vision in today's landscape of live entertainment.
Ari Daie, CEO and President of Fevo, thanks for joining us. So Ari, you guys are always, I think about Fevo, I think about innovation, and you guys have done a fantastic job. So what's your position on innovation this year, Ari, and how is that important during the pandemic?
It's funny. I read a quote. I think it was from the founder of Box. He said, there's only two types of companies left in the world: technology companies and obsolete companies, right? Mm-hmm. And he was making an interesting point that whether you are an orange farmer or you're a collegiate athletic program, I mean, obviously in that case, your job isn't to develop and write and sell software. But if you're not leveraging technology, digital technology, distribution channels that are technology driven, you're going to have a really tough time competing. So COVID did something interesting where it brought up the three main drivers of innovation to the forefront. Number one is, how are you differentiated, right? And differentiation can be multiple things. It could be you're developing the next iPhone. Well, that one's a little bit more far-fetched, but your differentiation could be developing things that bring incremental improvement. So within Fevo, it's, can we make the UI UX better? Can we add more features that help our customers and clients, now that they're thinking about, moving merch in place of tickets or different types of, virtual experiences? How do we provide them these incremental improvements that are differentiated? And then number two, are they relevant? Mm-hmm. So are those incremental improvements actually going to help them, or is that, just sort of pie in the sky thinking? And then number three, I think this is where it really comes together, Craig, is it sustainable? And my viewpoint here is, if you can develop features that bring the holistic view of an entertainment platform or a collegiate athletic platform together, meaning tickets, merch, virtual experiences, and allow that stuff to happen cohesively, that's what builds engagement, right? It's like, I can't get the person into the venue, but how can I give them something that connects them with the brand? That's how I think about innovation, right? So yes, it's important. Yes, if you don't innovate, you're going to become obsolete. But then break it down a little bit, and it's got to be differentiated, relevant, and sustainable, right, for the business.
I love it. And I always think too, right, those that are leaning in now, they're going to excel after the pandemic. Those that are on their heels, it's going to be a challenge. So, and I know I keep seeing these ideas, these innovations that Fevo is driving and empowering on behalf of Paculin clients. Can you share some of the examples or innovations that you've seen live in the wild in the Paculin community?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it a little bit. Like, you see what the Flyers have done with like the virtual events. Right. You see like what Oklahoma has done. Whether it's doing cutouts for the stadium or, pushing merch or doing the virtual events, it's this different way of thinking about, what brings people together in the pre-pandemic world was, I get to go to the venue, I get to feel the energy, I get to feel the noise, I see the players on the court or on the field, and I feel connected. Well, right now, we are all literally going nuts sitting at home. So what is that connection I can have now? Oh, I got an autographed football helmet, right? Or I got my cutout put in the venue. I still have that connection. So I think about, like, if I'm at a collegiate athletic program, or if I'm my friends at IMG Learfield, and I'm thinking about how do I keep that connection going with my alumni network, with my donors, with my fans, with my season holders, I've seen wonderful ideas like sending, just a thank you note that has everybody's, signature on it, like for the players' signatures, right? And you think about the teams that are thinking about not how can I sell you more stuff, but more like, how do I just show you I care, right? I know you're at home. I know you got ample time. You got your kids screaming in the background. We all do. So let me just give you a little bit of extra love, because in times of crisis, during war, we all come together because we've got to fight like the oncoming, horde. But in times of pandemic, we have a natural human inclination to become isolated, to stay safe. Mm-hmm. And I think people can say, no, I'm going to break through that, are the ones that are going to come out winners. And I've seen a lot of the partners do that. Again, the IMG Learfield folks are doing an amazing job. The Flyers, the Sixers, Oklahoma. I mean, these are teams that are really thinking through that stuff. And they're thinking about it from a human connection perspective, not just what can I sell you, but what real non-economic value can I give you that makes you understand how much I care about you and how much we have to be in this together. And I know it sounds hokey, but there's a kernel of real business truth there that says I've got to do more to make sure people understand I care about them this year.
I totally agree with you, Ari. I mean, great call. Not only is there a fiscal and financial bucket that we need to fill, right? Yeah. So we're not selling as many tickets and there's obvious deficit financially, but there's that fan engagement perspective that you're talking about too, right? And I think, that there is 2020, it's almost behind us, thank God, but even in 2021, there's going to be some potential still financial shortfalls we need to manage. So I think the engagement is going to be critical. So Ari, so you guys see not only in the Pacquiao community, you're working with every team and leagues across, the entire, ecosystem. So what examples can you share with us that are outside of the Pacquiao community that maybe some of the Pacquiao teams and venues might be able to bring back home to them?
It's funny. I actually think most of the Pacquiao clients, especially the partners there on the collegiate side, are becoming the real thought leaders in the space. Awesome. And I know I'm going to get a lot of heat from our league partners on this one, and from our other ticketing partners. But you have, at heart, obviously you've got your alumni networks and whatnot, but at heart, you have the 18 to 22-year-old who's at school. And like the IMG Learfield folks, the partners that are supporting these collegiate athletic programs are always thinking about that younger demographic. Right. And candidly, I think those partners have been at the cutting edge of this. And going back to the conversation about shortfall, there is really no way to compensate and make up for the ticket sales shortfalls. I mean, there's just not enough other stuff to move. That's the real reality. So anybody who comes and says, I've got the magic bullet for how you're going to recoup all those losses, I think is living in a different universe. So the time right now is to say, look, we're going to all have to absorb some level of loss, but the innovation that you're talking about is more about, again, human connection. And again, what can I do that's different? I'm going to send you, there's one partner, Florida did the signed helmets campaign, right? Another partner did I'm just going to send you a lump of coal campaign. Literally, I'm going to sell you a lump of coal. And in fact, it's like, Craig, you can buy Ari a lump of coal. Just for no other reason to make you smile and say, I'm thinking about you, right? But it's literally, they sent a lump of coal, like a lump of charcoal. And you think about that is memorable. It is something that I'm going to forever remember, is like somebody sent me a lump of coal as a joke during COVID, and it made me smile, right? So those are the innovations I really think. It's really about peer-to-peer human connection. That's why I like where Fevo fits into the ecosystem. And to give ourselves a little bit of a plug is, I received a lump of coal, but now I can actually share that lump of coal and send another lump of coal to you, Craig, or to Drew, or to Dave, or to Steve, and all of a sudden you get this network effect of, this fun that takes place and makes people smile.
That's awesome. And talk to me, you're kind of leading into the social cart, right? Which I think is fantastic. Not only is the UX fantastic, but makes it easy to virally share with your friends and connect and create that network. So talk to us about the social cart. How is that working out there today? And can you talk through how teams are leveraging that to engage fans and drive sales?
Sure. The heart of the social cart from a business perspective is, how do I turn your avid fan into basically a micro influencer who can bring in passive fans? So latent demand. How do I address latent demand? Now that's like the business side of it. The real human side and the real genesis of Fevo was about bringing people together in a way that I can create memories. So I actually go into partner meetings all the time, and I will ask, what was the last, event you went to outside of your own? So if you're at, if you're the Flyers, I don't ask what Flyers game did you go to? I ask what other games did you go to? And half the people in the room will remember, oh, I went to see, maybe it was Eagles versus somebody else. And then I'll ask who won? Then half of those people remember who won. Then I ask, what's the score? Barely anybody remembers the score. And then I ask, who are you with? everybody in the room remembers who they're with. I was with my kids, my wife. She brought her sister, and her sister's husband. We had the cousins there, and then they actually brought some neighbors. You always remember who you're with, and it's at the end of the day, we're fundamentally very social, tribal animals.
Right.
And I always thought to myself, why is it that in a social industry, which is we go to events together, you'll travel the world alone, you'll go to restaurants alone, you'll rarely ever go to a live event alone. Why do we make the transaction so solitary? And that's the model I want to fundamentally shatter, is how do I make the transaction social, more memorable, and bring more and more of those people that I'm going to remember? And that was the real genesis of Fevo, was that.
I love it. And you think about all those big events, those big experiences, those big memories you have, you do remember all the friends and family you're with.
Yeah.
I mean, those are the marquee memories you've got, and sports brings us together, and the ability to engage with those friends, it's huge.
Yeah. And then you think about, again, the avid fan kind of luring in the passive fan more easily. So an avid fan is going to drop big bucks on your event. They love your team. They love your organization. They're an alumnus, whatever it is, they're going to do that. But, do I really want to buy the tickets for 20 other people? I may love 20 other people, but I don't even know. I don't even know if I want to coordinate them. Like, it's such a hassle just to see, are you in? Who's coming? Oh, you're bringing your spouse. Oh, you're bringing your kids. Oh, wait, I've lost track. Oh, now you're not, now you can't make it. What if we just enabled you to share a link, and that link can go viral, and whoever's in is in, they pay their own way, but we can lump and group and seat everybody together and take away that pain. And then for the business, for the organization, you're getting more data, you're getting more sales, your nominal CPA, your cost per acquisition, is decreasing because you're adding to your denominator, not to get into math speak or marketing speak here. And we've got real results. I mean, 60% of the people who come through Fevo's purchase flow are partners. Our mutual partners, Craig, have never seen those names in their databases before.
Awesome.
That's the real value.
That's huge. So Ari, 2020 has been an interesting year, right? I think we've all learned ways, or took away some lessons from 2020. So looking forward into 21, what do you think 21 looks like? Do you think that there's going to be some ideas that we bring forward from 2020? And do you think that there's going to be any fundamental shifts in group sales, for example, going forward?
Oh, loaded question. So I'm gonna play Nostradamus here, I guess. No, here's my view of what I think the macro trends are. I think we could have a vaccine as soon as December 11th if the FDA approves the first 2 or 3 batches that have come out. That means it could probably be circulated by mid to late Q1 and early Q2 of next year. That means all of a sudden the summer cycle is in play.
Right.
Now brings the political environment. So if one is, can we get the vaccine distributed? And assuming we can get the vaccine distributed, then you've got municipalities that are going to have different contexts. Some are going to be harder hit than others. So they're going to be, some are going to be more aggressive than others with capacity. So I think those are going to be the 2 big drivers. I think the third thing, though, that we should all realize is we've been now only in like this COVID period in North America and the US since mid-March. That's only 8 months. It's felt like 8 years. Most people get 10 to 15 days off a year, right? You get your 2 weeks of holiday from your company plus 5 days of, let's say, the federal holidays. So, in any given year, you're spending 15 days like doing entertainment. I think there's so much pent up demand that people have felt like they've missed out on 60 days of entertainment.
Yes.
So I think when we get a little bit of an all clear, I think there's a psychological multiplier that's taken effect, that people say, I don't want to miss out on living life. And I think things are going to come roaring back even faster. And to add to that, people, I don't call it work from home. It's work from anywhere now, right? So so many companies have shifted their mindset from you have to be at the office and you have to be local to, wait, you can work from anywhere. The hotel lobby in Hawaii. Wait a minute, I get to go to Hawaii now and spend 3, 4, 5, maybe, I've got a good friend who's an investor in Fevo. I was talking to him yesterday. He literally is packed up and moved to Hawaii. Wow. He's like, I grabbed my 2 kids and I work out of a 3-bedroom condo in Kauai. and it's wonderful, you know. And he's like, I'm surfing by 1 p.m. because it's 7 p.m. or 6 p.m. on the East Coast. So I actually think things come roaring back, Greg. That's my prediction for the year.
Awesome. I love it. So, looking forward, and there's been a lot of innovation. Our industry has kind of galvanized and come together. What's been one thing that surprised you in 2020 from our industry?
This wasn't so much a surprise as I inherently knew it. Look, I think we are rivals on the court, right? We are rivals on the field. But this is an industry, and you and I were talking about this separately, how you don't see any bad players in our industry. Everybody is literally rallied to help each other. You have collegiate programs, and I think Pat Gillen has been a broker here, talking to NFL clubs and vice versa, sharing best practices with MLB. There is nobody that says, wait a minute, I don't want to share what I'm doing because I want to make sure I come out ahead. Everybody's saying, so much so that like the Live Nations and AEGs of the world, who have been very, very strong competitors, are collaborating on things, right?
Absolutely.
I love that. And it just goes to show like the value of the technology, bringing people, virtually together. Says we're going to get through it together. I know that sounds all hokey, but I'm fundamentally an optimist. That's why I'm a serial entrepreneur. You have to be. But I love how people have come together. Like I call Steve DeMotts just to see how he's doing. I think last year we were each so busy, like a phone call from the other was rare. Now we actually just call to talk about wine, and what are you drinking? I don't, and that means a lot. It means a lot.
It's everything. That's awesome. So how about Fevo as an organization? Have you done anything differently to flex during this time to keep everyone connected? What have you guys done organizationally?
Lots of things. Prior to this year, we actually didn't have like a content strategy. Going back to what we were talking about at the very beginning of the hour, like what can we give? Like forget what can I sell? We said, look, people are at home. They're probably having difficulty filling their days past like the 10 shows that they've already binge watched on Netflix. So what kind of programming can we provide our partners that's just even outside of the industry? So we brought Scott Galloway as sort of our inaugural speaker. I don't know if you know Scott. Brilliant NYU professor of marketing. He's built and sold a couple of businesses. So our first inaugural sort of webinar was Scott just dropping knowledge about what he sees in terms of the future trends of the world. In a few weeks, we've got Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah, I saw that.
To the partners. You're invited, and remember, we're not charging for any of this. We're not saying, hey, it's $50 to register. We're saying this is on us. We'll take care of Scott. We'll take care of Gary. How can we provide you content that will make your business life better, your personal life better, your personal brand better? How can you think about so many of our peers have been either had their hours reduced, have lost their jobs. So we think about how can we at least just provide some level of content that makes them think about how they can position themselves for recovery, how they can get back in the game. And then on top of that, we're every week, I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day we've got a different piece of programming that we put out on LinkedIn, whether it's case studies, best practices, videos. Again, it's more about that cross-pollination, that just showing we care, right? And none of it is hey, use Fevo for this. Well, maybe a little bit. It's much more about things suck. It is what it is, but use this time to improve and learn, and we'll get through it,
Awesome. Ari, thank you so much for joining us. This has been fantastic.
Thanks, Craig. You guys rock. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining the Thought Leaders video blog. And remember, everyone can step up and be a leader in their own way. We look forward to seeing you next time.